Ever heard of Roswell? Of course you have. But have you heard of Brazil's Roswell? Today we're diving deep into one of the most compelling and bizarre UFO cases in modern history, the Varginha UFO incident. Fasten your seatbelts, because this story is a wild ride. Our story begins on January 20th, 1996, in the quiet, coffee-growing city of Varginha, Brazil. The morning started like any other, but that was about to change dramatically. Local farmers and residents reported seeing a strange cigar-shaped object flying erratically across the sky. Some described it as a silent submarine-like craft, wobbling as if it were damaged. It descended, leaving a trail of smoke, and then it vanished behind a ridge. This wasn't just a fleeting light in the sky. Radar stations, including the Integrated Center for Air Defense and Air Traffic Control, SINDACTA, allegedly tracked an unidentified object over southern Minas Gerais, the state where Varginha is located. Even a commercial pilot flying nearby reported seeing a glowing object. The stage was set for something truly extraordinary. What followed the alleged crash is where this story goes from a simple UFO sighting to a full-blown creature feature. Around 3:30 p.m. that same day, three young women, sisters Lilian and Valkyria Fatima Silva, and their friend Katia Andrade Xavier, were taking a shortcut through a vacant lot. As they walked, they were stopped in their tracks by a smell they described as utterly foul. Then they saw it. Crouched by a wall was a creature unlike anything they had ever seen or imagined. They described it as a bipedal being, about 4 to 5 feet tall with dark brown, oily-looking skin. It had a large head with 3 prominent bumps or horns, and most terrifying of all, huge, non-blinking red eyes. Its body was thin, and it appeared weak and dazed. The creature didn't move, it just stared. Terrified, the girls screamed and ran for their lives, convinced they had just seen the devil. When they got home, hysterical and breathless, Lilian and Valkyria's mother didn't believe them at first. But when she returned to the lot with them, the strange smell still lingered, and she noticed unusual footprints on the ground. The story of the girls' encounter spread through the neighborhood like wildfire. This wasn't some campfire tale. These were 3 terrified witnesses who stuck to their story, even under intense scrutiny. But the girls weren't the only ones who encountered strange beings that day. Earlier, around 8 a.m., the Varginha Fire Department was called to the Jardim Mandere neighborhood, the same area as the alleged crash. The official report was that they were there to capture a wild animal, like a capybara or a wild boar. However, eyewitnesses tell a different story. They claim they saw firefighters using nets to capture a strange creature, similar to the one the 3 girls would see later that afternoon. This creature was allegedly placed in a wooden box and handed over to a group of men in uniform who quickly drove away. The military had arrived, and this is where the plot thickens and the alleged cover-up begins. Within hours, Varginha was swarming with military personnel, army trucks, Secret Service agents in unmarked cars. The city was on lockdown. This heavy-handed response seemed wildly disproportionate for capturing a stray animal. Locals reported seeing soldiers combing the woods and cordoning off large areas. The military's official stance? They were conducting a routine training exercise, but the timing was, to say the least, incredibly suspicious. The story gets even more intense. That same night, a military police officer named Marco Cerese was part of a patrol. His team received a report of a strange creature wandering near a wooded area. According to his family and fellow officers who later spoke out, Cerese managed to capture one of the beings with his bare hands. The creature was reportedly weak and passive. He delivered it to an army sergeant, completing his mission. Tragically, this is where Officer Cerese's story takes a dark turn. Within weeks of the encounter, he fell mysteriously ill. He developed a high fever, and a strange infection took hold of his body. Doctors were baffled. No antibiotics worked. Within a month, Marco Cerese, a healthy young man, was dead. The official cause of death was a severe bacterial infection. But his family and many researchers believe he died from exposure to some unknown toxin or bacteria from the creature he handled. The military, they claim, pressured the family to stay quiet and confiscated his medical records. So now we have at least 2 captured creatures. Where did they go? Witnesses reported seeing them being taken to 2 different local hospitals, the regional hospital and the Humanitas hospital. before being transferred to a larger, better-equipped hospital in a nearby city. Doctors and nurses at these facilities later spoke to investigators, anonymously for fear of retribution. They described being ordered to clear entire hallways and operating rooms for special patients who were escorted under heavy military guard. One witness, a janitor, claimed to have caught a glimpse of one of the beings on a gurney. They described the same dark, oily skin and overpowering ammonia-like odor. The military allegedly took control of the situation, warning hospital staff to forget everything they saw. The trail then leads to the University of Campinas, a highly respected institution with advanced research facilities. The bodies of the creatures, one deceased and one captured alive, were allegedly taken there for autopsy and study. Dr. Badan Palhares, a world-renowned coroner who had famously identified the remains of Nazi Dr. Josef Mengele, was said to have led the autopsy. When initially contacted by UFO researchers, he reportedly confirmed his involvement. Later, however, under immense pressure, he vehemently denied ever seeing an alien body. Over the next few months, and even years, more witnesses came forward. A pilot claimed he was ordered to transport a strange, secure container from Varginha to an American airbase. Soldiers spoke anonymously about their involvement in the creature retrieval and the subsequent cover-up, describing a massive operation involving both the Brazilian army and, according to some, American agents. The official explanation from the Brazilian military, which they finally released in 2010 after years of public pressure, is comical in its simplicity. They claim the entire incident was a series of misunderstandings. The UFO was just unusual weather. The creatures seen by the Silver Sisters and their friend, that was just a homeless, mentally disabled local man nicknamed Mudinho, who was known to crouch in a similar fashion. This explanation has been widely rejected by a majority of the people involved. The three women were shown pictures of Mudinho and were adamant that the man was not what they saw. His family also confirmed he was at home with them on the day of the incident. Furthermore, how does a homeless man explain the massive military response, the radar tracking, the other sightings, and the tragic death of Officer Cereze? The Varginha case remains one of the most detailed and corroborated UFO incidents in history. We have dozens of witnesses, from civilians to military personnel, radar data, and physical evidence that mysteriously disappeared. Was it a damaged extraterrestrial craft and its surviving occupants? Or was it, as the government insists, a perfect storm of coincidence and misidentification? 28 years later, the city of Varginha has embraced its cosmic legacy. You can find alien statues, UFO-themed water towers, and tourist shops selling extraterrestrial souvenirs. But behind the quirky tourist attractions lies a deep and unsettling mystery. A story of ordinary people who saw something extraordinary, and a powerful military apparatus that allegedly went to extreme lengths to keep it a secret. What do you think really happened in Varginha in 1996? Was it a genuine close encounter, or a mass delusion fueled by small-town gossip? The truth, as they say, might still be out there, hidden in a classified file deep within a military bunker. Thank you so much for joining me on this deep dive into Brazil's Roswell. If you enjoyed this journey into the unknown, please hit that like button and subscribe to the channel for more explorations of history's greatest mysteries. Don't forget to ring the notification bell so you never miss an update. Let me know your theories about the Varginha incident in the comments below. Until next time, stay curious. Have you ever looked up at the night sky and wondered, are we alone? It's a question that has captivated humanity for centuries, but what if I told you that on a summer night in 1977, we might have gotten an answer? Picture this. It's August 15th, 1977. At Ohio State University's Big Ear Radio Observatory, a young astronomer named Dr. Jerry Eman is reviewing data from a massive radio telescope. This telescope wasn't looking at stars with visible light. It was listening to the silent symphony of the cosmos, scanning for radio waves from deep space. For weeks, the data had been a monotonous stream of cosmic background noise. But on this day, something was different. Buried in the reams of computer printout, a sequence of characters jumped out at him. 6EQUJ5. Dr. Eman stared at the printout, his heart pounding. The code represented a signal of incredible intensity. It was sharp, focused, and unlike anything he had ever seen. The letters and numbers represented the signal's strength, and this one was over 30 times stronger than the background noise of deep space. It was a cosmic shout in a quiet library. In a moment of pure astonishment, he circled the sequence and wrote a single word in the margin. Wow. And just like that, the most famous, most tantalizing mystery in the search for extraterrestrial intelligence was born. So what made the WOW signal so special? First, its frequency. It was broadcast at around 1420 megahertz. This is known as the hydrogen line, a frequency naturally emitted by hydrogen, the most common element in the universe. Why is that important? Well, decades earlier, two physicists at Cornell University had proposed that if an intelligent civilization wanted to send a beacon across the stars, this would be the perfect, universal channel to use. It's like an intergalactic calling card, a frequency that any technologically advanced species would likely recognize. The WOW signal hit this cosmic bullseye almost perfectly. Second, the signal's duration and profile. It lasted for exactly 72 seconds. This wasn't just a random burst. As the Big Ear telescope scanned the sky, any fixed point would pass through its view for exactly 72 seconds. The signal's intensity rose, peaked, and then fell, perfectly matching the expected pattern of a signal coming from a fixed point in deep space as the Earth rotated. It behaved exactly as a transmission from a distant star system would. It wasn't a glitch from the telescope, nor was it a satellite passing by. It was something out there. The signal appeared to originate from the direction of the constellation Sagittarius, near a star group called Chi Sagittari. This region is dense with stars, a bustling cosmic neighborhood about 220 light-years away. For 72 seconds, it was as if someone in that direction had pointed a powerful transmitter directly at Earth and said, well, something. We don't know what. The signal was a pure, unmodulated tone. It carried no complex message, no "take me to your leader," no schematics for a starship. It was just a powerful, intelligent-looking ping, a cosmic hello. Immediately, the search was on. Astronomers, including Dr. Amen and the legendary Carl Sagan, scrambled to find the signal again. They pointed the Big Ear telescope back at that exact spot in the sky. Night after night, week after week, they listened, and they heard nothing. Just the quiet hiss of the universe. Over the next several decades, more than 100 different studies have been conducted by observatories all around the world, all listening to that same patch of sky. The Allen Telescope Array, the Very Large Array, the Green Bank Telescope, some of the most powerful listening devices ever built, have all tried to catch a repeat performance. The result has always been the same. Silence. The fact that it was never heard again is what makes the WOW signal so deeply mysterious. If it was an alien beacon, why did it stop? Why only transmit for 72 seconds and then go silent forever? This has led to a universe of theories, ranging from the plausible to the wildly speculative. Let's explore some of the more grounded explanations first. Could it have been a natural phenomenon? Some scientists have proposed that it could have been a rare, powerful burst from a pulsar, a rapidly spinning neutron star. Or perhaps something called interstellar scintillation, where a weaker, continuous signal from a distant source is temporarily magnified by gas and dust clouds, like a cosmic magnifying glass. The problem with these theories is that no known natural event perfectly matches the specific characteristics of the WOW signal, especially its narrow frequency. Natural signals tend to be much broader. Another theory, proposed more recently, suggested the signal came from the hydrogen clouds surrounding a passing comet. Comets release vast amounts of hydrogen as they get closer to the sun. This theory gained some traction, but it was quickly challenged. Subsequent research showed that the comets proposed weren't in the right position at the right time. Plus, a comet's hydrogen cloud would be huge and diffuse, which wouldn't produce such a sharp, focused signal. So the comet theory seems to be a dead end. What about human-made interference? Could it have been a signal from a satellite, an airplane, or even a secret military experiment that bounced off a piece of space debris and into the telescope? This is a possibility that scientists have taken very seriously. The frequency of the WOW signal is in a protected band, meaning earthly transmissions are forbidden there to keep the channel clear for radio astronomy. However, it's not impossible that a stray, unauthorized, or reflected signal could have caused it. But again, the signal's profile, perfectly matching the telescope's scan speed, makes a simple reflection unlikely. A satellite in orbit would have moved across the sky at a different rate. To this day, no one has been able to identify a specific human source that could account for it. This leaves us with the most exciting, the most profound, and the most spine-tingling possibility: that the WOW signal was exactly what it looked like. A deliberate, intelligent, and artificial signal from an extraterrestrial civilization. A message in a bottle, tossed across the cosmic ocean. If it was aliens, why the silence? One idea is that it wasn't a continuous beacon, but a targeted one-time message. Maybe they saw our planet, knew it harbored life, and sent a single powerful "we are here," before moving on to scan other star systems. Another possibility is that it was a sweeping beacon like a lighthouse that rotates very, very slowly. We might have just been in the right place at the right time to catch its beam for 72 seconds, and it might not sweep past us again for centuries or even millennia. Or perhaps, and this is a sobering thought, the civilization that sent it is no longer there. A signal traveling 220 light-years takes 220 years to reach us. The signal we received in 1977 would have been sent around the year 1757. Think about our own planet during that time. The world was a very different place. In the 220 years since, that civilization could have faced any number of fates. We might have heard a final, fading echo from a long-lost world. For Dr. Jerry Amon, the man who discovered it, the mystery has been a lifelong companion. He has remained cautious, a true scientist, always open to natural explanations but never fully dismissing the extraordinary. He has said he doesn't believe it was from a terrestrial source. The signal was an anomaly, a perfect statistical outlier that has defied every attempt at a conventional explanation. The WOW signal remains the strongest candidate we have ever found for an extraterrestrial signal. It's a single, tantalizing data point in our grand search for cosmic company. It reminds us that the universe is vast, mysterious, and full of possibilities. It keeps astronomers listening and dreamers dreaming. It's a permanent question mark hanging in the stars, a 72-second whisper that has echoed for decades. Was it a cosmic fluke, a one-in-a-billion natural event? Or was it a greeting from a distant neighbor, a moment when humanity unknowingly made first contact? We may never know for sure. But the simple, powerful word written on that printout in 1977, WOW, perfectly captures how we should feel about the magnificent, unsolved puzzle it represents. What do you think the WOW signal was? Let me know your theories down in the comments below. It's a mystery that belongs to all of us. Thanks for joining me on this journey into one of the greatest unsolved mysteries of our time. If you enjoyed this video, please hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into the wonders of our universe. Until next time, keep looking up.